Okay, how's that? That wasn't so bad. That was actually really quick. Welcome in. Welcome in, everybody. We are doing a fun. We're doing a fun. Welcome to the It Gets Better channel. If it's your first time here, I'm Lurch. I'm an It Gets Better ambassador. We seek to uplift the LGBTQIA plus community, particularly also the youth. Do all sorts of fun stuff around that. My fun vibe is I don't know if you call it like a fun vibe, but I'm really into the edutainment side of things. So I hope we can enjoy today. Today we're going to be playing a little bit of Nier Automata, and also I've got a bit of a presentation around the female protagonists of video games and their games. Deep dive into that. I guess we'll watch that a couple of times throughout the stream. We're here for about 3 hours, and then we'll try find an ambassador to raid into, shall we? I think that'll be super fun, super chill, super fun vibes. Thank you everyone for joining in. Hi Taunt. Hello, hello. Just give me a second. I would like to do a little bit more prep. Hi Cameron, how's it going? We do a cool and we do a fun. All right, sweet. Sweet. Let us boot up today's game in question. I'm not sure if anyone's played Nier Automata before. Totally okay if you haven't. Totally vibe. Oh my goodness. Why? Oh man. Let me so occasionally when I access Steam, there'll be people with just the most off-the-cuff names I've ever seen ever. Oh my goodness, and I'm looking at a feral one right now. So, don't mind me, let me get rid of that so it doesn't pop up on the screen and ruin it for everyone. TPD gamers, you know, TPD, spicy sense of humor. What a vibe. Hey, I'm just going to remove them. There we go, all clear. And I'm going to go back offline. Okay, awesome, awesome. How are we today? How are we, if anything? Let's start up the thing. Controller isn't supported, that is okay. And we'll change to the gameplay screen. Wow. I feel so fancy. Okay. How's the volume? Can we hear it? I think it might sound good. Alright, so I don't remember the controls, and also I'm using a PS5 controller to play what usually requires like an Xbox controller. So, the struggle is going to be real. Getting used to all the button differences. I know X is like square. And I think it's like A is X. This game does not support autosave. Play the game to find out how to save. Alright, so I've chosen Nier Automata today because it does feature a cast of fascinating main characters that just happen to be women. I've played this game to death on like PlayStation. I haven't done too much on PC. I think I gave it a few hours. Super fun vibes. Oh, right. Keyboard to enter a name. Okay, well, I guess we'll go with Lurch. Wow. Okay, and let us begin.
Everything that lives is designed to end.
Oh wow.
We are perpetually trapped
Oh, okay.
in a never-ending spiral of life and death. Is this a curse? Or some kind of punishment? I often think about the god who blessed us with this cryptic puzzle, and wonder if we'll ever have the chance to kill him.
I may have to turn it down just a smidge. We'll figure it out as we go, I feel.
This is Command. Yorha Squadron, come in.
2B here. All units have penetrated the stratosphere. Autopilot systems green across the board.
This is Operator 6-0. All units confirmed.
We've passed the 50-kilometer threshold and are proceeding toward the top.
Then I think once we've done the introduction, we'll watch a cute little presentation. I think that'll be really fun.
Then destroy the Goliath-class unit by any means necessary, and gather what data you can.
Understood.
Ah!
12H down. All units activate manual mode and rely on visuals to evade.
Already engaged. Free movement unlocked.
Origin point of long-range lasers.
Might just... Oh, wait. I don't think you can adjust volume until you're prompted to do... This game's a bit funny. Okay. No worries.
11B, down. Our HO229 cameras
Hi,
are
Neil.
ineffective.
Welcome in. How are you?
Alert. Enemy unit sighted ahead.
Requesting permission to engage.
Permission granted.
Whew.
7E, down.
Let me know if it's a bit too loud. I might actually turn it down while we go through the introduction segment, because we can adjust a little later. We live, we need to reload? Yes. You're so fine.
1D down. Assuming captain's duties.
I had a feeling, because it did that last time, but no worries. No worries.
Multiple surrounding enemy air units confirmed. Requesting permission to assume mobile configuration.
Permission granted.
Taunt the bus.
Captain, I think...
What would you say is a game that sticks out in your mind that stars a female protagonist? I can name a bunch,
2B
but
to
I'm
Operator
interested in knowing
6-0.
yours.
All
Neil, you
allied
too.
units down. The operation is compromised. Awaiting further orders.
Operator to 2B. We need you to rendezvous with Unit 9S and begin gathering data on the local terrain.
Rendezvous. Okay. What I love about this intro is that the ship segments are not the main focus, and also they give you about 50 different control schemes in about 2 minutes. It's great. I like it a lot. Spiritfarer? I actually haven't played Spiritfarer. I've been told I should. I just, I worry my soul would hurt. Apparently it's a really sad game, so... And sad games make me sad. You know? Hi Ray G, how's it going? Making me cry. Apparently Spiritfarer is a game we need to play, huh? Interesting. Oh, I know the Uncharted DLC you're talking about. Where you get to play as a, fun fact, voiced by Claudia Black, whose son, I believe, is under the LGBTQIA plus umbrella. Here's our main character.
Activating short-range attack gear.
Icon. Icon. What an icon.
Alert. Large enemy.
Final Fantasy VI with Terra. Yeah, that's a great example of a lot of people attribute Final Fantasy 13 to being the first game to sort of in the Final Fantasy series to star a woman. But I feel like a lot of the Final Fantasy stories have had a huge focus on the journeys of their females of their cast, right? She's beautiful. Do you know 2B? She's quite popular in like gacha games and collabs. She's been in so many collabs. I think most recently a fighting game called Grand Blue Rising or Versus Rising or something. How do I lock on? There we go. I'm like...
Enemies destroyed.
Not quite.
6 was all about Terra, yeah. Sort of like how, you know, Final Fantasy X. Tidus was like the point of view, right? But the story was Yuna's journey to a T.
Is that our target?
Negative. This enemy is unrelated. Proposal. Dispatch it as swiftly as possible.
You don't say.
Laser communications recovered.
I think we're doing spectacular, to be honest with you.
Transmitting your pod program.
Pod program download complete.
Have I improved as a gamer? Me too. I think the best example of that at the moment in current day Final Fantasy is probably 14 for sure.
Better make sure he's actually dead next time. That was dangerous, man. You're 2B, right? My name's 9S. I'm here to provide support.
Copy that.
Now that I've beaten this
So,
game,
was that big old buzzsaw the Goliath you came here to take
so to get
out?
the full story of like
Just
Nier
another
Automata, you have to essentially beat the game 3 times.
I guess we have to find the target then, huh?
And
I've got a flight unit, so I'll take a look around the perimeter.
All right. I'll work my way in.
the revelation behind this story is like a goddamn Shakespearean pun, which is so funny. Like, it's like, what a sick, twisted humor you've got. I forgot how to, oh, there we go. We run. Yeah. Brilliant. Don't forget the treasure. This game came out at the right time in my life. I had my first, like, real spicy corporate job. And this game was great for letting off steam. Because quite a lot of the robot grunt enemies are just fun to like take on. They're sort of like empty-headed. Look, they're just standing there, right? Also, it's not too loud, is it? I've got it turned down on my OBS, but I actually can't adjust the in-game volume until after the introduction, so you'll have to be patient. I'm so sorry. It's fine? Okay, great. I can't wait to show you our cute little presentation for Women's History Month. But like even tonight, while we were on our channel, I've been like, oh! There are totally like games that I consider historically important for this like topic of discussion that I totally took my mind. So we might have to do like a follow-up at some point, maybe next year. Ooh, experience, please. Not you dodging it. Also, there is certain parts of this game I cannot show you tonight. I will spare you, but I highly recommend it if you're looking for a bit of a psychological story. Like, I want to say some of the reasons why, but it is spoilers. It's Steam Spring Sale right now, right? I might check if, I'll pause this for a second. Just gonna have a little look-see. Let's see if Spiritfarer is available. Oh wow, okay. So this game is actually quite affordable. Okay, awesome. Thank you for this recommendation, by the way. Oh! This is by the same company that made Sundered. Another game starring a female protagonist. That's so fun! That is so fun. Okay. Back to streamy stream. So, see. Look, I'll try and adjust the volume. Oh! It's letting me do it now. Wow. Alright, let's turn you down a bit. Just a smidge. And we'll adjust stream back to our typical volume, our safe volume. There we go. Admin is all done. Much better. I feel like I can hear my thoughts again. Has anyone not seen
You know, ma'am, I'm glad you're
gameplay from
here.
this game before?
Why?
Scanners like me mostly work alone. Scouting out enemy lines and all that. I don't usually get a partner. It's kind of fun.
Emotions are prohibited.
Sorry, ma'am.
And another thing, stop calling me ma'am.
Huh?
It's unnecessary.
All right, then. 2B it is.
First experience with interesting. Do you typically play action games? Or action RPGs, I should say. Can we climb this? We can! Fantastic. One treasure, please. Okay, that I remember is locked.
Sure is big.
My nostalgia remembers.
I guess humans used to use it as a weapons factory, but now it's just crawling with machines. The enemy seems to have
Anything jumping? Is it like
increase their overall machine production?
for reasons
So
of
if we
like
don't destroy
motion
it,
sickness?
people
That's
just
so
become
fair.
it.
Oh, we are the best at weaving between bullets. Wow. Your stomach used to end up in a... Oh. Or like Assassin's Creed, where you do like the big high jumps into the haystacks. Those always got me.
What?
It's just accessing random, nonsensical data from the old world. There's no actual meaning behind anything machines do.
Thank you for another day of hard work. Please enjoy the job well done.
Something like oh, that's so fair. That's so fair. What's the last thing to really turn my stomach in a knot? Regards to like a little vertigo moment. This game's got some. Just can't remember anything recently. Spiritfarer is fine. Is that like it's got farming sim elements, right? Like from what I remember. No? Count farming souls? Oh, no.
Analysis. This elevator's controls are locked and cannot be used.
Wow. Good analysis there, buddy.
Alert. Bulletproof apparatus detected on enemies. Close range combat is advised.
I know.
Ah. Such fun combat. It just flows so nicely. There's like 2 attack buttons. I mean, you can lock on and kind of like auto fire. It's rather light on the aspect. Okay, I respect that. do plants. Okay, so is it kind of, would you say, I don't know if anyone's played Bandletale. That's a game I'm also working through at the moment. It's got very light farming sims, but it's more focused on the adventure elements. Oopsie, that's not how you aim. Oh dear. Kind of like that? Okay. No, I love that. But you know what? If I had one critique for Bandletale, it's that I can't go ham on the farming. I've got like stacks and stacks of these vegetables that I can't really get rid of. They're so mean for that. At least not yet. The only way to really burn through them is the cooking minigame.
I surveyed the entire factory, but couldn't find anything resembling our target.
So
Maybe
valid.
they, I don't know, moved it somewhere?
Is that?
Rolling around at the speed of
You mean
sound.
the birds? Yeah, there's more plants and animals here than there used to be. Probably because the environment's changed.
I love stuff like this. Seaside noises. So nice. Wind. Ooh. Rain. I love a good rain soundscape in a video game. Oh my goodness. Alright, so this is the final part of the introduction. We'll be watching the presentation
There should be
after
another facility
this.
across that
And then be
bridge.
playing
It's a bit of a hike, but should we check it out?
more of this wonderfulness.
It's not like Command to get a location wrong. I guess even they get bad intel from time to time, huh?
I wouldn't bet on that.
Alert. High-power jamming detected. No response from long-range communications.
Doesn't matter. I'll just take him out.
Oh dear. Not like that. Oh dear. I'm gonna die? In a game? Okay, they've stopped. We can efficiently attack. There we go. I bet like this would make an incredible like, obviously with a lot of changes to make it ride safe, a great theme park attraction.
Is that?
Target enemy detected.
Go. Cheers, got some water. I mean, for a first boss, this is a good time. This is a really good time. I forgot how good this game was. Ooh, those precision dodges. As you can see, so precise. 30-minute bullet sponge? See, sometimes games just stop being fun at that point.
To me!
She's got such a cool design.
What's your status?
This is the target. I'm going to destroy it.
Right. I'll provide support.
Oh, it's going to destroy me first. Maybe. Mayhaps.
Alert. Incoming enemy attack from below. Proposal. Evade.
Oh, here we go again. Watch out.
Hacking in.
Oh, the anime of it all. Very cool.
Boost!
9S!
Ooh.
Nine
9S black box signal detected. No response to communications.
I'm going after.
Da-da-da-da-da.
Send a support request to command.
Negative. Communications have been jammed.
I'm trying to figure out what kind of weapon combo I want to use. They're all really fun. Also, the music's so good. They really popped off with this soundtrack.
9S!
Oh, hello. Oh, another level up. Phenomenal. I love a level up.
I have to help 9S. I have to repair him. Pod, get me staunching gel and logic virus vaccines. Then access the...
Inadvisable. The subject's vital signs are too poor to attempt field repair in
Shut up!
current...
Just do what I say!
2B. Just go.
You shut up too.
We're soldiers. We take pride in our service.
HO-229 Flight Unit. Command 677 received. Usage rights transferred from 9S to 2B. Requesting acknowledgement.
Please.
Very emotionally happy.
All right.
When I first went to this game years ago, I was like, oh my god. They're trying to extract emotions from my eyes in the first 20 minutes of the game. They are wild for that, gotta say. I think we're doing really good
It
so
talks?
far.
I didn't know the machines had that kind of intelligence.
2B, I found a weakness in the target, hacking in to provide support. The control on the enemy's upper arm. Use your pod. Should be able to take it over.
I told you to shut up!
Whoa! Oh, failed to dodge that, didn't I? Lion, have you played Nier Automata? I could see you vibing with it.
Control of upper arm.
Especially because you've
Seized from enemy unit.
you've done so
Marking weak
fantastically
point.
with games like Grand Blue Relink.
Seize its control system.
Affirmative. Infiltrating enemy subunit. Behavior table adjusted. Balance controls overridden. Enemy unit subjugation complete.
She's so cool. She's actually so cool.
Just die already!
Wow.
Talk about bringing the battle to them. 2B.
Contact command. Request assistance.
By the way, if it wasn't clear,
No,
they're in fact androids.
it doesn't look like that's going to be necessary.
Hence the robotic parts.
Oh, great.
I don't imagine that this is going to end well. The black box. It's ready.
Right.
Requesting destruction of enemy hostiles via black box reaction.
Request accepted.
2B. It was an honor to fight with you.
You know, thank you
Truly.
for the lurk. I appreciate it.
The honor
Very
was
kind
mine.
of you. Wow. I forgot how wild that introduction is. Oh my goodness. All right, who would like to watch our little Women's History Month presentation, and then we do some more Nier Automata. Wow. Okay. All right. Let's pause. We'll quick save. We'll quick save vibes. We'll mute the game just in case. I'm not sure if there's any background noise. We won't have that interrupt our little experience. Okay. All right, and here we go. This was a presentation I put together for It Gets Better. When I thought about the gender I represent, I go by he, him pronouns at the moment. I am questioning, but that could take years. I sort of pondered. I was like, do I really have a position to be sort of deep diving into Women's History Month? And then I was like, oh, women have uplifted me my entire life. And I love video games. And so I was like, great, I have a whole Rolodex of video games starring female protagonists. And a lot to talk about. So then my brain went to work and I put together this little thing for you. Let's enjoy it together, shall we? Pretty please enjoy with a cherry on top. And I'll see you in about 10 minutes. If you missed this showing, there will be a couple more showings throughout the stream. Yeah, let me know your thoughts. If you have anything to chime in and add. This is very much a celebration of Women's History Month in a way that I feel I can contribute without doing something that's maybe stepping out of bounds. Let's go for it. All right, here we go. Please enjoy. Woo! Video games have a very interesting and varied history when it comes to representing and telling their stories to what is today a constant practice of presenting believable character arcs in worlds not unbelievable, but often exaggerated to enhance those feelings, showcase the absurd, or are inspirations based on the years of yesterday or grander tomorrows. But first, a trivia question. How do we, the hero, down on our luck, achieve infinite wealth against all odds and incredibly hostile enemy factions? I'll give you some time. Well, if your answer was, we ride a dolphin to a rundown island resort, clear trash, procure materials over each day, upgrade our tools, craft structures and decorations to accommodate our would-be guests, and then extract funds by being great island resort hosts over their 3-day stay, then you'd be right. Much like Ichiban playing the leading man to an eclectic and complex cast, enduring a plot that rivals most soap operas in daily twists and turns, this, as of today, is the same for gaming's women. Since the early days, women have been front, center, and playable in video games, and in a variety of roles, be it the hunter, the fatale, the guardian, the all-star, the heiress, the strongest, the commander, a regular archaeologist, or a hobby photographer. Super regular, super hobby, super princess. Let's take time this Women's History Month to celebrate these women, their games, and some of the things that make them so gosh darn fantastic. The year is 1981. The Pac-Man merch is merching. A world phenomenon in terms of cultural impact. But also, the Pac-Man bootlegs were bootsing into any house of arcade or home that would take them. The total lawsuits, ongoing and on rotation, were wild even for its time. Miss Pac-Man would come to live through what began as a Pac-Man bootleg, Crazy Otto, which, for the sake of copyright law purposes, was definitely not Pac-Man with legs. An absolutely original character. Do not copy. Anyway, skipping some legal jargon, That would all evolve into the concept of Super Pac-Man. Its attention to short cutscenes, where essentially boy meets girl, would lead to Mr. and Mrs. Pac-Man, and for the sake of name flow, would turn into 1982's Miss Pac-Man, where she'd take on the role of title protagonist. It was essentially an enhanced edition of Pac-Man featuring more maps, changes in ghost behaviors, and also a fully realized retelling of one of video games' first visual love stories.
Don't you know I'm more than Pac-Man with a bow?
The success of Miss Pac-Man outdid the original in terms of arcade box profit due to audience reach, and so followed the merch, brand deals that all really helped flesh out the Pac-Man dynasty as we know it today. And, you know, didn't know, but it was a thing.
Pac-Man pasta?
Additionally, the design differences in giving Pac-Man's iconic yellow disc a drastically feminine makeover would also pioneer the controversial habit of often unnecessary and gendering aspects still seen in gaming today. But what about the aspect of a fun little surprise? A sweet little treat at the end of the day, if you will. The public's Goopy Goblin gamer brains would collectively gag upon completing 1986's Metroid to discover that they've been playing what is often declared the first playable human-female character in mainstream gaming. I also consider her the first mother, taking a Metroid hatchling under her wing, which eventually led to Super Metroid, considered one of gaming's all-time greatest, and the mother half to the subgenre we coin as the humble Metroidvania. I also love it because my Tahua, grandma, gave me Super Metroid and a Super Nintendo, a combination that would keep me entrenched in gaming forever. The next notable major milestone in gaming's female protagonists takes us to the early days of popular mainstream interactive 3D. Tomb Raider's Lara Croft had a handful of controversies due to the nature of her gender and pivotal role in commercialized male fantasy, contesting her trailblazing and empowerment. But looking at the positives, it's undeniable that Lara Croft opened the door to more female video game characters, female action protagonists on the big screen, and Angelina Jolie participating in target practice on horseback, which is unintentionally one of the most sapphic-coded things in the ever. Who run the world? Girls in horror games. Who run the world? Girls unless the stamina runs out. Continuing this call to action, Jill Valentine would be a playable character selectable alongside Chris Redfield in 1996's Resident Evil, notable for her independence, skill set reflecting military background, and iconic interactions where you either love them or they're bad and you love them anyway.
Bitch can't even swim.
The at-the-time Resident Evil's survival horror counterpart, Konami's Silent Hill series, would introduce the world to Silent Hill 3, with Heather Mason's starring role being their most notable departure from the previous two main series titles. It also introduces Silent Hill's first relatable protagonist. Of course, it considers the series staples up to this point, like the main character being just a regular person against the unspeakable, struggling to wield a weapon with any real proficiency. But her character really shines through, especially when we put mirroring events from the first Silent Hill back to back.
I've been expecting you. It was foretold by gyromancy.
What are you talking about?
I am Claudia.
So what?
Get it. This is way too gross. Who would even think of doing something so disgusting?
Heather isn't wandering around with question marks. She's no nonsense, charismatically so, and after a key event is quite cynical of the entire process. It also touches on a lot of real-life horror that comes with being a woman. The fear isn't necessarily about the monsters or the otherworldly walls. It's the being stalked, the immediate danger of a quiet alleyway, being manipulated by creeps, being denied bodily autonomy, society's pressures on appearance just from looking at your reflection in the mirror. It's a horrifying reality. Another horrifying reality is when this more powerless style of survival horror and its variants began dying off until 2010's Amnesia would revive it. With the popularity of survival horror in the third-person shooter style being at its peak, Capcom's Haunting Ground would go mostly unnoticed, having a cult following years later. Through the eyes of Fiona, we experience a lot of society's all-too-predatory misogyny at full blast, and it's the only game to really do so unapologetically, even today. Fiona's story hits home with a lot of women in modern society, and due to its traumatic nature, can be ill-perceived based on whether or not you can relate to these uniquely specific experiences. Fiona overcoming her various adversaries, and the only truly negative ending being linked to her mistreating her cuddly companion, really puts an emphasis on the true intent behind Haunting Ground's messaging, and why it needs to be celebrated. And re-released. Capcom. I could go on about how amazing Heather and Fiona are for literally hours. But this isn't that video. But this is more broad and kinda up to a public and personal opinion kind of thing. Bayonetta immediately jumps to mind. There's something so incredibly about a woman who's endured, overcome, and is thriving in a male-dominated society. Very Liza Minnelli, and even in video game terms, her base design is queer-coded, which usually dictates them as less than a hero, a villain even. The sapphic aspects inherent in mainstream witchcraft, camp elements you'd see in drag entertainers ever present through Bayonetta's often unserious dialogue, and consistently absurd physicality shining through equally absurd circumstances. Bayonetta flips its head on male gaze to yes, diva, work. Our next icon actually starts with you. Titus, protagonist of Final Fantasy X, quite quickly becomes our point of view for the actual main character of Final Fantasy X, Yuna. This isn't the first Final Fantasy to have iconic and notable women, or even have a story focused on their journey, nor would it be the last. But Yuna is the first to live on in our hearts on a level that demanded Final Fantasy's first sequel title, Final Fantasy X-2, starring none other than ex-Summoner Yuna. Everything about X-2 was iconic, right down to the magical girl mechanics at the forefront of its battle system. The woman-dominated main cast, their dynamic and their journeys are inspired by the likes of Charlie's Angels and Tomb Raider. X-2 also had a flip-side atmosphere of finding melancholy in carefree moments rather than X's heavily melancholic procession. A lot of these changes cemented Final Fantasy X-2 as immediately timeless, with this particular Final Fantasy being a staple favorite among the queer community.
Sing to me, Paolo.
This is what dreams are made of! My
Of course, you have other icons like Ada Wong and your actual canon queer characters like Ellie Williams, and controversially remixed to het characters such as trans icon Vivian. There's a lot more. Take my word. I'm sure there are like insufferable anti-Ethel stands out there.
Char won't bother us here. She's far too busy writing poetry and crying about how much people prefer her sister.
Let's make some room to celebrate the creator characters.
Everything about Grunt is a lie.
This one is the hero of the Citadel. I'll handle it.
This one insists.
This one doesn't care. The second I get out of here, I'm gonna take your head and mount it in the Normandy CIC.
Shepard is a great example of something based in custom character, carried by the flexible voice of Jennifer Hale.
This is from my cabin. She's moving stuff out of my cabin. Oh, now it's personal.
Female Shepard, or FemShep, is generally the more positively remembered of the two, getting a default option by Mass Effect 3. It's also a lot of gamers' first showcase of an in-game queer romance, with her able to undertake a relationship with Liara T'Soni in Mass Effect 1. Other notable mentions are Samantha Trainer and my personal favorite character in the entire trilogy, Samara, both in Mass Effect 3. Then there's one of my current personal favorite character creators in Rogue Trader, where your feminine Rogue Trader can take on the most enormous sky-piercing platinum blonde hair in the entire universe, and still read to 40k's world as cold to the right people, calculating, cunning, full of authority, and stronger than everyone else. With Tav's voice and body type dictating a more flexible gender experience with more self-insert potential, their race, class, and background playing the dominant factor of how they experience events in Baldur's Gate 3, this is great direction, and is documented to be a lot of people's favorite creator character story and a pastime of all time when it comes to gaming. But 99% of female creator characters in story-driven games don't give women the choice the Saints Row series has managed to provide over gaming's entire history. Name another game that lets you play as a cool female protagonist with this body type. Or even gives you the option. If there's one or more in a game, she's usually unplayable. And if she's playable, then she's probably treated as a bit of a joke, or non-existent. The Herbs, as perfect of a game as it is, has this as their curvy plus-size option. Saints Row is supreme forever. Happy Women's History Month. This has been something I've wanted to gush about for forever. Women tend to be my favorite characters in TV shows, whether they're good, bad, a nice bit of both. And when it comes to things like comics, my favorite characters aren't the dudes, at least since I've been aware of them. In fact, probably most things in media, and this won't be changing until there's a better fight than the one at the end of Penny Dreadful Season 2. That pits Vanessa Ives against spoilers. That is not adult. This is the same for video games. I'm so keen to see what comes next. What are your thoughts? What was that? How was that one? Wasn't that a little bit fun? Sorry, itchy nose there. Itchy nose. Ah, brava, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. I had a lot of fun putting that one together. Hi, Obi-Ken Kenobi. Yeah, so we'll probably watch that a few more times during this stream. And then give it a day or so. I'll put it on other platforms too, and stuff like that. But this is a wonderful opportunity. You know, it gets better. It gives me so many opportunities to put stuff out there. Gives me incentive to put out like projects like this. Yeah, it's a topic I gush about all the time on my own channel. So all too happy to take it here as well. And I hope you enjoyed that. I had a lot of fun making it. I think it's one of the most it's probably one of the most easiest edits I've had to make as well, which is always nicest too. It was pretty breezy. It was more the research portion. Quite a lot of things in Discovery for me was the Pac-Man.
Complete and all that, huh?
Pac-Man was new for me. I didn't realize how deep the
now we can
deep the rabbit hole went in regards to Miss Pac-Man. But it was really cool to learn.
For uploading
Obi-Ken Kenobi, what are you up to today? And what is your favorite game led by a female protagonist? Huh?
There wasn't a whole lot of
I would love to learn.
I probably only had enough time to back up your
so far, chat has recommended Spiritfarer.
Just before we rendezvoused.
I see.
Glory to mankind.
I've had that recommendation quite a few times over the years, so.
To mankind.
Ooh, we better not, just in case. Save current program. Even though we did just save, I think yes. You'd forgotten about all the Pac-Man stuff. Me too. And then like, I went back to my childhood when I used to go and stay over like all the friends' houses. They had that at-home Pac-Man arcade. It was terrible.
Came to a sudden and abrupt end. When the world was invaded by aliens from beyond the stars.
Ooh.
The aliens unleashed a new breed of weapon, machine life forms, that all but annihilated human civilization. The handful of survivors that remained fled from Earth, seeking refuge on the moon. 5204 AD. Humanity launched its counterattack, deploying an army of androids from a network of orbiting bases. But after more than a dozen large-scale descents upon the enemy, we still haven't managed to repel the invaders. That is why you, the Yorha forces, exist. To break this stalemate, once and for all. You are our ultimate weapon, and you must put an end to this war.
Understood, sir.
I wish you good hunting.
Glory to mankind. Glory to mankind.
Glory to mankind.
Work divas. Also, when I was editing this and putting it together a couple of weeks ago, just going through any Mass Effect footage made me so emotional. I remember I've used moments in Mass Effect as a talking point before for previous It Gets Better gigs, and yeah, it made me it just there's just so much nostalgia and emotion behind my memories of Mass Effect. Hi, All Gold Karma. How's it going? Welcome in. How are you? What is your what's a title you fondly remember that had a female protagonist leading the entire thing? How about me? Good, thank you. Very good. I think we'll just go middle, right? That looks good, right, guys? Should probably let you know that this entire process is being recorded for posterity. It's not actually. Unless...
Can you hear me? Hello? Alright, are we good now?
You loved Control? I'm yet to play Control as well. That's another title I've been recommended quite a few times. By the way, if you guys were interested in watching that again, I'll be showcasing it again, probably, I reckon maybe every almost hour. I feel like that's a good amount of time. I think that's a good fun, just in case people didn't catch it, or maybe you'd like to watch it again. Vibes.
Okay, settings should all be good to go. Hold on.
I've heard
Your self-destruct
Control is compared quite a lot to like the Alan Wake series, right? Are they sort of similar?
I could set it for you, but you should probably do it yourself. Regulations and all, you know? Huh? Wait, no. You need to leave that turned on. Okay, good. If things go wrong during an op, you may have to sacrifice yourself in order to finish it. So, once you're finished making adjustments, you can go ahead and close this out.
Last of Us? Yes. Brought that one up. Last of Us is, it's a bit too scary for me. So I haven't quite played Last of Us 2 yet. Especially because it's quite a bit intense on the hyper gore. But I have watched it to death. Quite a lot of my streamer friends have had their first experiences on stream, and it's great to see their reactions.
Morning.
I prefer to watch scary, if that makes sense. Like, one of my favorite games of all time is Silent Hill 3, but I've never played it.
9S.
But I've never played
in
it.
charge of your maintenance, ma'am.
Ever.
I'll be performing regular checks on you from now on.
I see.
Oh, don't worry. We 9S models are the best around, you know. Though I suppose we're not exactly known for our modesty.
9S.
Love Silent Hill, me too. Silent Hill's great. Even the
Stop
bad
calling
Silent
me
Hills are
ma'am.
good.
There's no need to be so formal.
Alright. If you say so. Oh, I almost forgot. The commander was calling for you. We better go see what's up, man. 2B.
Alright, let's get all androidy and stuff and save the world. Liberate the world from robots and
You need to be
stuff.
near an access point to save your data. You can see access points on the close range map. Be sure to save often.
Fine. There we go. The Horizon series is something I have to get into as well. There's so many titles I haven't delved into. That was actually a title I remembered early on. I'm like, oh, I forgot to include Aloy in an essay about games led by female protagonists. Oh my goodness. That's okay. There's always room to expand, and I'll also get to have my personal experiences. But I've always had a fascination with the Horizon series because it has one of my favorite voice actors in it, Ashley Birch, who's incredible in everything she touches. Everything's proceeding smoothly. There's no sign anyone's noticed any, what's your problem? Get out of my face before I rearrange yours. Honestly, respect. Means more stories. Exactly! See, you got it. You're feeling alright? Do you have enough recovery items? How are your vital signs? It's critical to deal with injuries right away. Don't worry, I can take care of myself. I've got plenty of recovery items. Ugh. I hate when games do that. They're like, you can use healing items to heal. And they'll be like an NPC over yonder that's like, I think it was an old Zelda game I played where Link talks to like an NPC and it's like, you can press A to jump. I don't know what that means though.
Ah, 2B. Maintenance finished?
Yes, Commander. You detonated your black box in order to defeat the enemy. Bold, but risky. Try not to be so reckless next time. Understood. I know you're fresh out of maintenance, but I have another mission for you. I need you to head to the surface, rendezvous with the Resistance, and do some recon.
That's not too loud, right, guys? Just checking. I know I've checked already, but like,
we haven't been able
just
to
in
get in touch
case.
with them, so we'll need you to look into that as well. Understood.
We're an hour in tonight. I'm already feeling great. Time is flying by. If anyone's interested in checking out this title for themselves, note there is quite an unsettling amount of shock value that pops up in this game. None of that we really get to tread over through the first few hours of the game, which is why I've decided to play it here today.
They can't mass produce these things yet.
But it's a really fascinating story, led by women, and the whole story demands you play through it 3 times to get the entire thing. So there's very 3 distinct flavors of playthroughs. In fact, I would say about half of the game doesn't unlock until the final playthrough. So you've always heard good things about this game? Yeah.
Let's go.
The company that actually made it has been coasting on its praise for years now. I'm so ready for a new Nier game, but they're like, you know what, let's just release Game of the Year edition again. But that said, of course, because you have heard so many good things about Nier Automata, it's quite often on special, so you can get it for quite cheap often. I wouldn't be surprised if it was available in spring sale for the Steam version. I don't feel so good. Good morning, Baltimore. How are you? Her balance senses got damaged, so she gets motion sickness. How's your sleep? No matter how many times I repair the sensors, the problem comes back. It's almost like it's in her head or something. You guys can take care of yourselves so you don't end up like her, alright? Baltimore, what is your favorite game led by a female main protagonist? Are you going down to Earth again? I'd give almost anything to spend more time in a flight unit. We'd all like that, but they're expensive, delicate pieces of equipment, so they don't just hand them out willy-nilly. Oh, sorry, 1 second. 1 second. There we go. Set to manual scroll. Maybe think fixes that, huh? We do. We work our fingers to the bone to get you a beautiful ride, and you go and crud all over it. Alright, I get it. Sheesh. Horizon Zero Dawn! Just talking about that game. I have to play that one. We might do that at a future date. Because I do want to play Forbidden West. I think Forbidden West came out last year. It was actually a really good game, but I don't think it won any awards, did it? At the Game Awards. What a shame.
Hey, 2B. Why do you think they sent a combat model like you to a recon job? If all they want is intel, we scanner models are built for that kind of thing.
Orders are orders.
Alright.
I remember when they were previewing Forbidden West, Palmer, that
I'll put up instructions for you.
they showcased the underwater zone. I'm like, oh wow. That is very nice. True. I forgot about... I won't say I forgot about Baldur's Gate 3. I do remember it being a huge factor. A lot of people up in arms in thinking their games are robbed. And then now that it's months later, a lot of people are actually playing it for the first time and loving it. You're scared of Elden Ring?
Bunker to 2B.
That's fair.
I've set a landing
I
point
kind
for
of
your
look at
flight
it like
today.
this.
You'll be touching down quite a ways
It's a
from the
game made to
resistance
be
camp,
broken.
unfortunately. Sorry for the trouble, but we can't risk the enemy discovering their
You're
position.
thinking about Baldur's Gate? I'm still in Act 1.
Down there.
Unfortunately, I'm still in Act 1, but I've loved every moment of it so far. My first character was like a sort of a sapphic orc swamp witch vibe. And my second character was just a cool looking cleric situation. Yeah, there are so many games. This year is particularly notorious for launching most of the games that I planned to play that I knew about at the start of the year. So I've got a huge backlog I'm getting through. At the moment, it's pretty wild and wonderful, I would say.
Target location acquired. Marking on map. Proposal. Proceed to target location.
Yay! We'll get to it eventually? Of course. That's the spirit. Of course, I will be playing Dragon's Dogma Day 1. That is a game I've been keen to check out, just because I miss Devil May Cry 5, and a lot of the gameplay looks very much Devil May Cry 5 adjacent, which I love. I love that idea.
Proposal. Eliminate enemies in vicinity and restore access point immediately.
According to our intel, none of the machines in this area are hostile. We've been seeing more and more enemies like this lately. They just stand there and stare into space. It's pretty weird.
Probably heal up. Just realize black and white means health low. All better. This message is intended for the verification of your mail account. Members who encounter problems with the mailing system should contact their supervisors as soon as possible. This game is gorgeous, yeah.
Data obtained from bunker.
From the budget they worked with.
From the system menu.
From what I'm aware, it's quite a budget game.
It's hard to get an accurate picture from this.
They weren't sure.
Satellite resolution isn't
Because
so
up
high.
until this point,
Hopefully they deploy some
the
new
person that
satellites
makes
soon.
these games, his games have not been successful. They'd always
You
had
don't
like
let
a
anything
cult
get in your way,
audience.
do you?
This is kind of the first to really dip out of that territory and be like, let's do the thing. Yeah, I feel like the music adds a lot to the atmosphere in this game as well. Like, it's really nice. And there's fishing. When pressed about why there was fishing included in this game, the brain behind it said, they replied pretty instantly, and they said, RPGs need fishing. And I'm like, honestly, work. I don't think I've ever fished properly in this game, though. So, let's see what happens. You love a good fishing session? Me too. There's this farming sim I'm playing. Oh! I think I was a bit late.
No response. Complete.
Fishing hard. There's this farming sim I play, which has a whole skill tree, like a really elaborate skill tree for fishing, called Sunhaven. And they're getting a new romance in. It's like a, I think it's like meant to be like a merman creature. And his favorite thing to eat is sushi, and I'm like, oh, finally. Finally! All of this hard work has paid off. I'm great at making sushi, and I'm incredible at fishing the resources needed for sushi. Best news ever. Am I a legless floating head and arms? Yes, very much so. Welcome in, Beast Boy. How's it going? Dun, dun, dun. You know, it's funny. Occasionally on my own social medias, I'll post a photo where I'm like standing up or something. And then the main messages I'll be flooded with are like, you have legs? I'm like, yes. And then I realized it's like, oh, it's true. The Twitch community doesn't really get to see. I don't really stand up on stream. I kind of just sit in my chair the entire time. So I would say yes. At this point, I am a floating head and arms. Just like the bosses of the 90s in those platforming games.
So this is the resistance camp, huh? We should probably go talk to their leader first thing.
My legs used to be much more fantastic. Yeah. I need to get back to the gym and do leg day. To get legs on that level again. I feel like that would be really cool. Goals! Fitness goals. For sure. Are you new here? So who are you? Are you the new Nyoha soldiers? If so, you should meet our leader.
You're number 2.
You know about 2B?
Yes, well, the bunker told me to expect you. My name is Anemone. I'm the leader of the android resistance that controls...
I've been Baltimore in real life, and Baltimore can confirm I do in fact have legs.
Well, I'm sure my people will have plenty of information for you. Please.
You look forward to these streams? I'm so happy you're here, Sensible Salad. Welcome in. We will be watching a little Women's History Month presentation again for those interested, in around 40 minutes, I reckon. I think that'll be nice. If you guys are cool to wait. Welcome, welcome. It's always great to get new customers. You some kind of supply trader for the Resistance. You know it. Every item here is handcrafted from abandoned parts and stuff blended from enemy corpses. Just having a snooze. So fair, so fair. Also, I think there might have been issues with the raid. I might have to figure out the background stuff. Sorry, it's very, very rarely do I raid into other streams and then go into those streams so I can host those streams. Yeah, this is a whole thing, but it's super fun. Super fun. Hopefully, by next time we'll have mastered the art of successfully raiding in vibes. Do you sell plug-in chips? You mean those little doodads that serve as power-ups for your body? Afraid not. I'd love to sell plug-in chips, but I don't have the necessary raw materials. So this is our first little fetch quest. Being an RPG, there are a bunch of side quests. This is kind of like the intro to the more sort of monotonous, kind of uninteresting stuff. There's some very interesting side quests in this game. I will say that. Quite a lot of them actually are pretty good. Others are very much point A to B. Okay, so I need one broken key, one small gear, one broken circuit. You can smash up a few small machines to find them. You can obtain them from enemies at the big open area towards the left when you exit camp.
Target location data obtained. Marking on map.
Yay! Hey, you're with Yoha, right? My mask, it's an electromagnetic wave shielding device. I wear it to limit unnecessary information from the world. Just kidding. So what do you want? We want nothing from them at the moment. Now, I have already done all of the make good. Like turning off the motion blur and stuff like that. It's fun talking with you. Come back anytime. Right, and the last little NPC here. I believe this is the smithy. Must be Yorha. I heard about what happened. I deal in weapons, if you're interested in that type of thing. What kind of weapons? Basically, I rebuild and repair relics from the old world. Although, to be honest, my tools are in pretty sad shape at the moment. But if I can get the servicing device, that toolbox up and running, I could start fixing and selling weapons again. Take a look at it, would you? That looks busted, alright. You know it. Of course we help him out. We want cool weapons. There's quite a variety. Super massive weapons, super medium weapons, and super small but fast weapons. And you can mix and match. So it's sort of like this game's way of being like, play your own way. Any idea where I'd find complex gadgets? Folks say you can find them over in the city ruins, although I also hear the place is crawling with incredibly aggressive machines. Alright, so we've got our first set of early game fetch quests. You know, if MMORPGs are anything, you can't defeat the in-game gods without first destroying a populace of slime creatures that probably look really cute.
This must have been quite a city once upon a time. Too bad vegetation's claimed most of it now.
Sensible Salad, what are you up to today, apart from just waking up?
Operator 60 to 2B. It is time for your regularly scheduled contact.
This is 2B. Nothing to report.
Good to hear. Say, how's the weather on Earth today? Good?
It's fine. Does that question have anything to do with our operation?
Not really. I just figured it might feel nice to have some good weather.
Feeling nice has no bearing on completing missions.
That is so like you, 2B. Anyway, talk to you later.
So I don't know if anyone has noticed a certain personality aspect about 2B is that she's very business. Of course, this is fleshed out as the game goes on. It's very fun. It is. I can assure everyone.
That's everything the supply trader asked for.
The weird directions this game goes shocked me often.
Man, these chores are a real pain in the butt, huh?
The Resistance is a valuable ally to Yorha. By helping them, we also help ourselves. So no, I don't think they're a pain.
Yeah.
I believe we need to be able to hack to access those chests, and I don't believe you can hack until second playthrough, unfortunately. Probably be doing a little cleaning. Your room is a mess. That's so healthy. I do this thing where I let my room turn into a wardrobe because I'm disorganized and I'm probably a little bit undiagnosed. So doing chores when it comes to my own personal space, like I'm great. The kitchen is pristine when it comes to me because it's like a bit of a instinctively it's a bit of a public space. So I don't let dishes stay dirty for more than an hour. But when it comes to my own room, it'll turn into like a full wardrobe. I don't have any real hacks, but it is nice to get around to that sort of thing. I forget how to... Oh, we just go through here. Right. Should probably be looking at the little mini-map provided.
This is the place that weapons trader was talking about. Uh-oh. I'm picking up hostile machine life forms.
Whoa. Nice and clean, Milo. You're feeling overrun with soda and water bottles? Oh my goodness, yes. And like, I feel a little even less obligated to do things like recycling because when it comes to like, obviously you've seen I go through quite a lot of Pepsi Max on my side of things. I feel less obligated to do it because recycling comes every 2 weeks, right? But sometimes it's nice to just dedicate a section of the day to really make good. And like, oh my god, the last time I did it, I'm like, this was worth it. This is really worth it. I'm glad I did this. And then at the end of the day, there was already clothes on my ground. But what matters is that it was done, at least for a little bit. Where's that last piece? She's somewhere. Maybe over here. Are you it? No, you're a random item? Okay. Aha! Good.
That should be enough. Let's get these back to the trader.
But first, let's get this like a little checkpoint here. I think that would be fun.
Alert. Access point communications jammed.
Oh, right! I forgot that in this game, unarmed is also a combat option. I forgot after the introduction they take away your secondary weapon. That's so cool. Be gorgeously quick save. I reckon in a half an hour we'll do our little Women's History Month presentation again. Our super fun time. Is there anything else in the area that we could probably clean up before we investigate other stuff? Oh, this thing here. Let's go there. Boom, boom, boom. I have a friend who talks about this game like it's the only game. Still, even with Final Fantasy VII Rebirth being the main focus of their activity at the moment, they're also a very talented musical composer, and they've done some really great lo-fi remixes.
Hypothesis: jamming caused by enemies in local vicinity.
Work! Map information vibes. Alright. Oh. Yeah, anyone streaming. If anyone's a streamer, you let me know if you plan to play this on stream. I'll be there. I'll be there lurking. I want to see you react to certain things. This game is wild. One of your friends talked about this game for ages and then got to play it once. It came out on PC. And she started off again. No, I feel that. I've beaten the game completely on PlayStation. I've spent a couple of hours on the PC version, but then other games, you know. I think this game came out on Steam. The enhanced edition came out on Steam during my pretty strictly Dead by Daylight era vibes. So yeah, but this is nice. Playing this again is real nice. This should be enough to fix your broken device. Well, how do you like that? Looks like I'm back in business. Good to hear. You know it. I make these weapons to keep my friends safe after all. Although sometimes I wonder, what if my weapons are just making my friends die all the faster? Ah, never mind. Forget I said anything. Anyway, come back in a little while, alright? I should have some new gear for you then. Yeah! New Game Plus? The 9S playthrough? Ah, I gotta say, that's the quickest playthrough. That is the quickest playthrough. You just... 9S's hack feature is spectacular. Will get you right through all the hard fights. I could start upgrading and crafting items for you. I imagine you can spare a few of these supplies to fix your leg. Yeah, no. Why don't you just tell us what's really going on? See, my left leg, that's all busted up, and my left leg is the one that's fully original. I've repaired this old body of mine 100 times over during this war. I've swapped parts in and out so many times I can't even keep track. If I go and replace my leg, what happens? I mean, would I even be me anymore, or would I just... See, already, through these like little beginner fetch quests, the game is quietly messing with your mind. We've just had a blacksmith who's like, does what I do end the lives of others? And then we've had Am I still me if I'm not me? And meanwhile, 2B and 9S are fully, completely Android already. So it's like, whoa, where does this go, right? So fun. Cute little, cheeky little RPG vibe. I'm obsessed. Hey, it's you! Oh, I almost forgot. I still owe you a reward. I wanted to say thanks for helping me get things up and running again. So I whipped you up some upgrade materials. Wow. You bet. Alright. Oh, right. Can upgrade weapons here. Alright, so we have... I'll let chat decide. Do I get the Beast Bane? Oh, actually, okay, so, yeah, the Beast Bane or the Beast Lord? But halfway through, of course, you had to go the funniest ending from that run already, the one where you leave the area at the beginning and like, no, yeah, or the ending where you eat the fish. Android's not supposed to do that. Beast Lord, all right, done. Yeah. Ooh. Okay, Reichi. Main hand or offhand? So main hand is all the light attacks, and offhand is the heavy attacks. I do believe there's a way to combine them, but it's been a while since I've played, so I cannot say. Offhand? Alright. Ta-da! Come to me whenever you need help with your weapons. Hey, so where do you get these older weapon models from? Oh, the lady who owns the place sends them over every once in a while. Her name's Accord, and she's the proprietor of this here business. I just tend to customers and keep all the repair devices humming. I only see her every few years, to be honest. She mostly just uses delivery drones to drop things off. I don't know where she gets this stuff, but most of it's in pretty good condition. Say, if you ever happen to run into her, say hello from me, alright? You can upgrade the weapons you buy here. Only people that have... I think Drakengard 3 is Accord's introduction. I don't remember. But she's introduced in the post-game story, so that's a nice little callback to her. Give it a try if you'd like. What are you buying? I would like some small recoveries. We'll get like 2. I think 2 vibes is nice. This is the maintenance shops. I service and consult all types of android bodies. Can I help you with anything? Ah, all the fancy stuff, the special skills. Unavailable. Unfortunate. That's okay. That is okay vibes. You will not worry about that. Oh! Extra storage though. We'll worry about all that later. Oh hey, I actually have a request for you as well. There have been lots of reports of dangerous machines appearing in the desert recently. This is very unusual, so it may be indicative of something bigger. Now I hear your hot types are pretty good at examining things. Think you can look into this whole mess for me? Let's help her. Thanks, and you can count on you. I'll tell our allies in the desert that you're coming. Be careful out there, okay? Let's grab your treasure here. Hello, treasure. Please. There we go. I love a game that's confident in its soundtrack enough to devote an entire area to it. Shall we rest a bit? Alright. Yay! Oh, it's so good. Especially, like, pretty much most of the music I think has, like, vocal aspects too, which is really cool. I love the little nod to, I don't know, this feels inspired by Final Fantasy VII, this little flower patch here.
Pod 042 to operator. Coordinates confirmed for location specified by Resistance Leader.
Understood, 042. Placing marker on target. The desert heat is going to make resupply efforts difficult, 2B. Please make sure you're ready before you go.
Now, is there anything around here that we haven't already done yet? The desert is coming up a lot sooner than my nostalgia remembered. That's okay, we can do quite a lot of it. Fear not vibes, okay? Fear not vibes. You're doing great, chat. I'm very proud of you. Head back across that bridge. I believe you can get back to the old factory, which is used in quite a number of side quests. Hello, 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 hello. Ooh, big slicer. That was fun. I think what's going to end up happening off the stream is I probably put the soundtrack on and just vibe while I do all that good admin stuff and figure out what's going to be happening through this week. Ooh, sorry, still getting used to dodging. There's no excuse, I know. Before we head to the desert, we'll just clear this space one more time, just to see if there's anything. And then what'll probably end up happening, while I'm going over a bit of an unspeakable moment that I would prefer not to present on the It Gets Better channel, we'll watch our little presentation again, shall we? I think that'll be fun. Or we just chat and vibe in the other screen while I do all that wonderful jazz. Sensible Salad, you know the part I'm talking about, right? So good. When I first saw that, I was like, oh! Usually you have to really be patient for the Drakengard moments in these games to pop up, but they've just gone straight there. They're just like, you know what? Hi. Hey. Oh, this is such a pretty game. Even the, like, just the way that it transitions from the post-apocalypse city to the desert area. Like, well done, video game. Quick save gorgeously.
You're from Yorha, right? I've heard about you guys. We've got a squad mate waiting in a rocky stretch up ahead. Head on
Cheers.
over.
Alright.
Just remember that there's nowhere to resupply out there. If you need anything, best to take care of it here while you can. What can I help you with?
Hello. I would please love some stuff and things. Thank you. Love this area.
The Council of Humanity has a message for all of our brave androids fighting on the surface. Currently, our struggle against the machine life forms is at a stalemate. This battle has raged for far too long. I am sure all of you find the effort grueling. But now is not the time to give up. Now, more than ever, we must forge on. Remember that several 100,000 humans on the moon want nothing more than to return to Earth. Glory to mankind.
Right.
Those council broadcasts are always so stiff.
Report. Mail notification received from access point.
Big sword go burr. Whir. Oh, hello. What I might do, I might actually take the damage numbers off. I find it quite, not like an eyesore, but a little bit distracting to the quite pretty to look at combat. Let's take that out. System. Damage values, get out of there. Beautiful. Beautiful. Alright, that should look a lot more cleaner for us. That was a good decision. I'm glad we did that. Things a lot nicer. I agree. I completely agree. Though it can be nice to look at, like, big giant numbers, of course. Even as this music is like building up, oh, it's so good. Wow. I believe this character coming up is voiced by Jennifer Hale, if I'm not mistaken. Iconic voice actor, especially in like animated series and video games in particular. I would say most famous for her role as Commander Shepard in Mass Effect. One's all over the place. Is the yeah. It's a bit of visual overload, sort of like in Maple Story. When like at the start, I remember back in vanilla Maple Story, seeing the claw occur from the mage claw. Used to be so cool seeing like 2 damage numbers at once. It's like, oh, this is the best. And then and like current day Maple Story, the damage numbers are just the whole screen is damage, which is actually also satisfying. I feel like that's one of the pros of Maple Story. They make you crave the ridiculous screen-filling numbers. But also, Maple Story has some gorgeous visuals, yeah. Even though it's like quite an old 2D platformer style game. Vampire Survivors. Yeah, there we go. Too much garlic. Too much garlic. It's giving garlic vibes.
Hey, our leader told me all about you. Name's Jackass. Nice to meet you.
That's Jennifer
I hear
Hale.
you're planning to take out all the machines in the desert? Guess that means we need to get that entrance open.
Looks like it. So, Jackass, was it? What are you doing all the way out here?
Oh, that? Well... wouldn't want to have anyone getting tangled up in that, now would we? Don't go trying to be a hero, alright?
No.
Who opens a sealed gate with explosives? There's gotta be an easier way, right?
Ah. Where are the other ones? Aha! Wow. Again, though they had like a small budget to work with, they really did like the most they could with just the visual style.
This sand sure is slippery. Careful. We've got enemies approaching.
Do we though? We truly?
Android desert. Can't kill.
These machines are talking.
Yeah, I heard from the Resistance that they've been seeing this a lot lately. Couldn't tell you why, though.
It's giving medium recovery. Energy. I feel like I'm recovered in a medium sort of fashion. Love that for me. It's just this little checkpoint over here I want to get to, because it's also a nice little fishing spot, I remember. Kind of. It's like an oil slick, right? Hello. Small recovery. Beautiful. There we go. We quick save, just in case, you know, stuff goes wrong. Happens in games all the time. Maybe we try a bit of like a fishing moment. The way I was never good at fishing in this game, though.
Commencing.
We be patient. Oh. Oh. Ah. Wow.
Unknown object.
An oil sardine. Gorgeous. I think about your nice desert friends from the first Nier. Yes. Also a fantastic game.
Report. Unknown object.
What can we use fish for again? I don't remember. And did I ever? These are all good questions. Maybe this is a sign to move on.
Catch complete.
So tempting to fish more. Okay. Not to worry. Alright, we're nearly up to the part that I would prefer not to show on the It Gets Better channel. So I will replay the presentation while I go through all of that, and I'll kind of give you the lowdown. It's a good amount of fun. But a bit shock value, really, if that makes sense. And if it ends up taking longer than the presentation, then we'll hang in just chatting. And I'll make up a whole bunch of things that are not happening to make it seem more exciting in our cute little just chatting window. Baltimore, thank you for the lurk. Have fun. A lot of fun. Maybe see you before the end of our little It Gets Better time slot. Please enjoy your day otherwise.
Android exterminate. Enemy.
Scared. Enemy. Scary.
Do you think they even understand the concept of being scared?
Oh, another quick save spot. Beautiful. I believe also this is where the big super boss
And restore access point immediately.
can appear. Very overwhelming. Kind of spooky as well. Even just walking over that direction, stuff gets a bit weird. There's some really good range on this weapon.
Enemy. Kill. Enemy. Why?
No. Stay away.
What's with the weird-looking outfits?
I've seen that sort of thing when I was going through some old data. It looks like what humans used to wear long ago. Certain human collectives used to use face paint like that too.
Hi, Yesifs. How's it going? May I ask, what is your favorite game that is female protagonist led? As that is what we're celebrating on this Women's History Month stream. Thank you so much for the 100 bits to It Gets Better. I'm very sure they'll appreciate that. You're great. What are you up to today? Dum-ba-dum-dum. Ooh, a big stretch. The Mass Effect games? Yes. We've brought up Commander Shepard quite a lot tonight. Should probably heal up. Yeah, I know there's like a lot of sort of like created characters where you could sort of pick to play as a woman. But I feel like mainstream wise, Mass Effect was like the big one. Like it could be argued Dragon Age Origins. But definitely Mass Effect.
To be, it's fine. Their speech doesn't mean anything. They're just emitting words at random. If they wanted help, why would they be attacking us?
Yeah.
Also, the demand was so hard. I remember people loved FemShep. So much that they were like, where's the FemShep trailer for Mass Effect 3? And honestly, so valid. So I'm super happy that they did it. I don't know how I feel. Okay, so controversially, I'm gonna take points off. They wanted the design fan voted. From like a set of hairs and you know, hair colors. And I wouldn't say it was unfortunate, but the way that it was approached was not great. Not great. But no, the design for FemShep we have now today, iconic, undeniably. But hopefully, you know, they learned that lesson moving forward. And we're about to see like another Mass Effect, right? Probably next year. Should be interesting. Should be very interesting. The Dishonored games I haven't played, I can say. Not for the only reason I haven't played it is that because I'm not patient. Unfortunately.
It's heading for that rocky area.
Individual target ID marked.
But yeah, no, I see Dishonored, like, in quite a lot of, countdown lists. I went over quite a few things. I wanted to see what the public was vibing with. What gaming websites were talking about in regards to, this particular topic when it comes to, you know, female protagonists and their games. Dishonored got brought up quite a lot in a very positive light. What other games have been mentioned? You can watch a little essay I'm going to switch to in a second while I do a bit of a thing that I don't want to be shown on screen. And that'll be hopefully a lot of fun for you, if you haven't seen it yet. It's just a little celebration I put together in regards to, yeah, female protagonists and their games. Celebrating, like, the women of gaming as well. I hope to expand on it next year even, to touch even more ground and even more other topics that we haven't really touched on yet. I think that would be great. That'd be so fun.
What's that?
Analysis. It is the ruin of a former human residential area. Large numbers of humans resided in such concrete and metal shelters. The structures were referred to by names such as apartment complex. Report. Mail notification received from access point.
Ooh, free item. Beautiful. Are humans instinctive? That's a good question. That's a really good question. There's a humans resistance camp that we come down first, but this is very much post-apocalypse vibes, isn't it? So I would say the humans are very few and far between. So these two are androids, yes. 2B and 9S. Ah, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Welcome back, Sensible Salad.
Target confirmed. Let's get him.
Let's get him.
How are you? Nice weather today.
Oh, level up. Level up. I know, Become as God, such an iconic song. Right. But I do have to censor it, unfortunately. So, like, it's not like DBD where you can get away with, like, a spicy tag. Spicy horror tag. No, this one is very much, you know?
Androids are scary. Scary. So kill. Why? Some scary. Cruel. Stay back. Ow. 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 Ow.
So unsettling. Something, I wouldn't say it's adult, it's quite shocking. A little bit gory as well. So, yeah, I'll be sending you guys to our little video presentation when that does start. While I hopefully get through it. And if not, you have the just chatting screen afterwards. Should be nice. Nice vibes. Lion, what is your favorite game led by a male protagonist? Fine. Female. I don't remember how to defeat these. Sid Lloyd's. Portal, great choice. Now that one I didn't forget to include, but I didn't include it because I wanted it to use it for a little future video I have an opportunity to do. Yeah, Shell's great. Shell's fantastic. Even the sort of silent protagonist dynamic that they have, the way that it's justified to gaslight GLaDOS. I love it so much. I love it.
Run. Run. Not this way.
Like, it's so smartly done.
Choose these words.
Second would be control. Had that if you... I think we might have to have a bit of a control error. I suppose there's like context, because I did plan on playing Alan Wake 2 eventually. But we might need to do control
These are
first.
android bodies.
Hypothesis. They were killed by local machine life forms.
What are they doing here?
Unknown.
It's like they were gathered here.
We're nearly there, guys.
There it goes.
Do I pause it yet?
They don't give up. Run. Run.
I think now it would be the time to start the presentation. You guys enjoy that. Let me know all your thoughts. Or please enjoy watching it again. This is a short presentation I made to celebrate Women's History Month, female games, and their female protagonists and their games. Sorry, got all of my English mixed up. I'm just dumb. I don't want you guys to see this. Please enjoy. I had a lot of fun putting it together. I had a lot of fun putting it together, and It Gets Better gave me the opportunity to just kind of do it. So I'm very grateful for that. Please enjoy. Please enjoy. Video games have a very interesting and varied history when it comes to representing and telling their stories to what is today a constant practice of presenting believable character arcs in worlds not unbelievable, but often exaggerated to enhance those feelings, showcase the absurd, or are inspirations based on the years of yesterday or grander tomorrows. But first, a trivia question. How do we, the hero, down on our luck, achieve infinite wealth against all odds and incredibly hostile enemy factions? I'll give you some time. Well, if your answer was, we ride a dolphin to a rundown island resort, clear trash, procure materials over each day, upgrade our tools, craft structures and decorations to accommodate our would-be guests, and then extract funds by being great island resort hosts over their 3-day stay, then you'd be right. Much like Ichiban playing the leading man to an eclectic and complex cast, enduring a plot that rivals most soap operas in daily twists and turns, this, as of today, is the same for gaming's women. Since the early days, women have been front, center, and playable in video games, and in a variety of roles, be it the hunter, the fatale, the guardian, the all-star, the heiress, the strongest, the commander, a regular archaeologist, or a hobby photographer. Super regular. Super hobby. Super princess. Let's take time this Women's History Month to celebrate these women, their games, and some of the things that make them so gosh darn fantastic. The year is 1981, the Pac-Man merch is merching, a world phenomenon in terms of cultural impact. But also, the Pac-Man bootlegs were bootsing into any house of arcade or home that would take them. The total lawsuits, ongoing and on rotation, were wild even for its time. Miss Pac-Man would come to live through what began as a Pac-Man bootleg, Crazy Otto, which, for the sake of copyright law purposes, was definitely not Pac-Man with legs. An absolutely original character. Do not copy. Anyway, skipping some legal jargon, that would all evolve into the concept of Super Pac-Man. Its attention to short cutscenes, where essentially boy meets girl, would lead to Mr. and Mrs. Pac-Man, and for the sake of name flow, would turn into 1982's Miss Pac-Man, where she'd take on the role of title protagonist. It was essentially an enhanced edition of Pac-Man featuring more maps, changes in ghost behaviors, and also a fully realized retelling of one of video games' first visual love stories.
Don't you know I'm more than Pac-Man with a bow?
The success of Miss Pac-Man outdid the original in terms of arcade box profit due to audience reach, and so followed the merch. Brand deals that all really helped flesh out the Pac-Man dynasty as we know it today. And, you know, didn't know, but it was a thing.
Pac-Man pasta?
Additionally, the design differences in giving Pac-Man's iconic yellow disc a drastically feminine makeover would also pioneer the controversial habit of often unnecessary and gendering aspects still seen in gaming today. But what about the aspect of a fun little surprise? A sweet little treat at the end of the day, if you will. The public's Goopy Goblin gamer brains would collectively gag upon completing 1986's Metroid to discover that they've been playing what is often declared the first playable human-female character in mainstream gaming. I also consider her the first mother, taking a Metroid hatchling under her wing, which eventually led to Super Metroid, considered one of gaming's all-time greatest, and the mother half to the subgenre we coin as the humble Metroidvania. I also love it because my Taua grandma gave me Super Metroid and a Super Nintendo, a combination that would keep me entrenched in gaming forever. The next notable major milestone in gaming's female protagonists takes us to the early days of popular mainstream interactive 3D. Tomb Raider's Lara Croft had a handful of controversies due to the nature of her gender and pivotal role in commercialized male fantasy, contesting her trailblazing and empowerment. But looking at the positives, it's undeniable that Lara Croft opened the door to more female video game characters, female action protagonists on the big screen, and Angelina Jolie participating in target practice on horseback, which is unintentionally one of the most sapphic-coded things in the ever. Who run the world? Girls in horror games. Who run the world? Girls unless the stamina runs out. Continuing this call to action, Jill Valentine would be a playable character selectable alongside Chris Redfield in 1996's Resident Evil, notable for her independence, skill set reflecting military background, and iconic interactions where you either love them or they're bad and you love them anyway.
Bitch can't even swim.
The at-the-time Resident Evil's survival horror counterpart, Konami's Silent Hill series, would introduce the world to Silent Hill 3, with Heather Mason's starring role being their most notable departure from the previous two main series titles. It also introduces Silent Hill's first relatable protagonist. Of course, it considers the series staples up to this point, like the main character being just a regular person against the unspeakable, struggling to wield a weapon with any real proficiency. But her character really shines through, especially when we put mirroring events from the first Silent Hill back to back.
I've been expecting you. It was foretold by gyromancy.
What are you talking about?
I am Claudia.
So what? Forget it. This is way too gross. Who would even think of doing something so disgusting?
Heather isn't wandering around with question marks. She's no nonsense, charismatically so, and after a key event is quite cynical of the entire process. It also touches on a lot of real-life horror that comes with being a woman. The fear isn't necessarily about the monsters or the otherworldly walls. It's the being stalked, the immediate danger of a quiet alleyway, being manipulated by creeps, being denied bodily autonomy, Society's pressures on appearance just from looking at your reflection in the mirror. It's a horrifying reality. Another horrifying reality is when this more powerless style of survival horror and its variants began dying off until 2010's Amnesia would revive it. With the popularity of survival horror in the third-person shooter style being at its peak, Capcom's Haunting Ground would go mostly unnoticed, having a cult following years later. Through the eyes of Fiona, we experience a lot of society's all-too-predatory misogyny at full blast, and it's the only game to really do so unapologetically, even today. Fiona's story hits home with a lot of women in modern society, and due to its traumatic nature, can be ill-perceived based on whether or not you can relate to these uniquely specific experiences. Fiona overcoming her various adversaries, and the only truly negative ending being linked to her mistreating her cuddly companion, really puts an emphasis on the true intent behind Haunting Ground's messaging, and why it needs to be celebrated. And re-released, Capcom. I could go on about how amazing Heather and Fiona are for literally hours. But this isn't that video. But this is more broad and kinda up to a public and personal opinion kind of thing. Bayonetta immediately jumps to mind. There's something so incredibly about a woman who's endured, overcome, and is thriving in a male-dominated society. Very Liza Minnelli, and even in video game terms, her base design is queer-coded, which usually dictates them as less than a hero, a villain even. The sapphic aspects inherent in mainstream witchcraft, camp elements you'd see in drag entertainers ever present through Bayonetta's often unserious dialogue, and consistently absurd physicality shining through equally absurd circumstances. Bayonetta flips its head on male gaze to yes, diva, work. Our next icon actually starts with you. Titus, protagonist of Final Fantasy X, quite quickly becomes our point of view for the actual main character of Final Fantasy X, Yuna. This isn't the first Final Fantasy to have iconic and notable women, or even have a story focused on their journey, nor would it be the last. But Yuna is the first to live on in our hearts on a level that demanded Final Fantasy's first sequel title, Final Fantasy X-2, starring none other than ex-Summoner Yuna. Everything about X-2 was iconic, right down to the magical girl mechanics at the forefront of its battle system. The woman-dominated main cast, their dynamic and their journeys are inspired by the likes of Charlie's Angels and Tomb Raider. X-2 also had a flip-side atmosphere of finding melancholy in carefree moments rather than X's heavily melancholic procession. A lot of these changes cemented Final Fantasy X-2 as immediately timeless, with this particular Final Fantasy being a staple favorite among the queer community.
Sing to me, Paolo.
This is what dreams are made of.
Of course, you have other icons like Ada Wong and your actual canon queer characters like Ellie Williams, and controversially remixed to head characters such as trans icon Vivian. There's a lot more. Take my word. I'm sure there are like insufferable anti-Ethel stands out there.
Char won't bother us here. She's far too busy writing poetry and crying about how much people prefer her sister.
Let's make some room to celebrate the creator characters.
Everything about Grunt is a lie.
This one is the hero of the Citadel. I'll handle it.
This one insists.
This one doesn't care. The second I get out of here, I'm gonna take your head and mount it in the Normandy CIC.
Shepard is a great example of something based in custom character, carried by the flexible voice of Jennifer Hale.
This is from my cabin. She's moving stuff out of my cabin. Oh, now it's personal.
Female Shepard, or FemShep, is generally the more positively remembered of the two, getting a default option by Mass Effect 3. It's also a lot of gamers' first showcase of an in-game queer romance, with her able to undertake a relationship with Liara T'Soni in Mass Effect 1. Other notable mentions are Samantha Trainer and my personal favorite character in the entire trilogy, Samara, both in Mass Effect 3. Then there's one of my current personal favorite character creators in Rogue Trader, where your feminine Rogue Trader can take on the most enormous sky-piercing platinum blonde hair in the entire universe, and still read to 40k's world as cold to the right people, calculating, cunning, full of authority, and stronger than everyone else. With Tav's voice and body type dictating a more flexible gender experience with more self-insert potential, their race, class, and background playing the dominant factor of how they experience events in Baldur's Gate 3, this is great direction, and is documented to be a lot of people's favorite create-a-character story and a pastime of all time when it comes to gaming. But 99% of female creator characters in story-driven games don't give women the choice the Saints Row series has managed to provide over gaming's entire history. Name another game that lets you play as a cool female protagonist with this body type. Or even gives you the option. If there's one or more in a game, she's usually unplayable. And if she's playable, then she's probably treated as a bit of a joke, or non-existent. The Herbs, as perfect of a game as it is, has this as their curvy plus-size option. Saints Row is supreme forever. Happy Women's History Month. This has been something I've wanted to gush about for forever. Women tend to be my favorite characters in TV shows, whether they're good, bad, a nice bit of both. And when it comes to things like comics, my favorite characters aren't the dudes, at least since I've been aware of them. In fact, probably most things in media. And this won't be changing until there's a better fight than the one at the end of Penny Dreadful Season 2. That pits Vanessa Ives against spoilers. That is not adult. This is the same for video games. I'm so keen to see what comes next. What are your thoughts? Hello, hello, hello. What did we reckon? What do we reckon? Did we enjoy that? That was a little bit fun, wasn't it? Was great. Tiffany Chanel, I'm glad you enjoyed it. I almost called you Tiffany Channel. I'm so sorry. Miss Tiffany Chanel. I love it. That was very fun to put together. I wanted a talking point where obviously Women's History Month in the present is not a month for me to platform myself on. However, there was definitely talking points I could make that were very much
okay, this is good. We should be able to reach command here.
On point.
9S to bunker.
Something my brain could put together. So I had a lot of fun doing that. I hope you all enjoyed it. Think it gets better for giving me the time and again platform to put that together for you guys.
Hopefully you can get something out of it.
I hope it inspires people to check out some of these games, maybe look a bit more into the history of, I would even say women in gaming, not just the characters that are, you know, feminine presenting. Because there's so much more. Even tonight, just talking with you guys, there's so much that I could have even brought up in a small jump cut that I didn't do. And most importantly, I hope it all gets you to play Silent Hill 3. You're not meant to go down here yet. Can we go down here? Oh my god, we can go down there. I don't want to go down there yet, but I like knowing that we can. That's so fun. Miss Tiffany Chanel, what is your favorite female-led video game? I would say, even though I haven't played it myself, Silent Hill 3, for most of the reasons that I mentioned in there, I just really love its perspective and how current it is, and how personal it is, and how it really shakes up the Silent Hill formula without really diverging like, you know, future games did. Yep, of course, shout out to all the female developers, creators in the industry. That one I would have loved to have more time to touch on. as you saw in the video, I kind of only gave space to Jennifer Hale. See, this is why this is not my month, but that's why we made the talking point a bit specific. And I hope, you know, next year, when this month rolls around again, that we can do a far superior version. Jill Valentine, awesome. Awesome. I have all the time for Jill Valentine. I also think Jill Valentine, as I was researching Resident Evil, apparently, according to the fan base, Jill Valentine is also very beloved because she's the most consistently written Resident Evil cast member, which makes so much sense. So much sense. I mean, you could argue Ethan Winter, but like, they had to go above and beyond to make it make sense. Whereas with Jill, you didn't. Jill was just kind of already fantastic. I will say though, when it comes to the Resident Evil franchise, my favorite woman, not necessarily protagonist, but my favorite woman is Lady Dimitrescu. I love sapphic energy. I love all of her iconic line delivery. Like, she steals the scene each time, for as brief as her time is in Resident Evil 8. Oh, she's so good. She's so good. And absolutely deserved that, the voice actor deserved that award. I think it was it 2023? No, 2022. Was it 2022? 2020? Oh man, I'm getting too far ahead of myself. Typical blank slate. But even then, the whole I don't want to spoil it for the people who haven't played it, but yeah. Well written, well acted, I agree.
Say 2B, I was hoping we could talk about our next move. I'm worried about the damage we took in that last battle with the machines.
I am taking away from this stream that I need to play Spiritfarer. I need to probably get onto Horizon and Control. That's what I'm taking away from this stream. Let's walk back.
We should keep fighting.
We got time to kill. We're gorgeously in our last half an hour of It Gets Better stream. And I won't be on this channel again, at least schedule-wise. This can always change up. It has before. Until May, I believe.
2B, 9S.
I'm gonna miss all of you.
Contact with several Yorha units that were on their way to the surface. Their black boxes are online, so we presume they're still alive. We've tracked the location of
Yeah, Jill is way more well-rounded and inconsistent. I would agree too.
Head over and investigate.
As someone who has been an observer, okay, so the only Resident Evil games I have played myself is the Code Veronica series, and Seven and Village. I was gonna say Sillage, and I'm like, wait, Sillage isn't a game. Seven and Village.
I heard something about that back at the resistance camp.
I'm easily scared. I'm a scared little guy.
Confirmed. I'm worried about the other androids. We should probably check this out as soon as possible.
Also, I would love to thank everyone today for the healthy discussion. If you guys like, I can absolutely show you guys that presentation one more time. Before we farewell our It Gets Better time slot. But this will be available as VOD. And I will also be putting up the presentation on the socials where you can find videos and stuff like that. For more contoured for my audience, so some of the swears will be included. There's something so incredibly... Whoa! So that'll sound different. But yeah, even encompassing the entire cast, there's a lot of wonderful women in Resident Evil, and horrible women. But like, it's fun. It's so fun. Miranda's a great example of a horrible, horrible, horrible human being, but a really well written character, in my opinion. It's sort of why I guess we're playing this game today. Like, it's got a dominant female cast. But these aren't necessarily great characters in terms of morality. So, you know, quite often when I was researching this topic, like lots of website countdowns, all the more power to them, but often it's written from a male gaze perspective. So when you would look up like top countdown lists of, you know, women, it'd be like, these women are badass and they're also super sexy and slender and wear tight-fitted clothing. It's like, no, that is so surface level and like misogynistic. And also, you know, too much of a reality in this world, because I would say that was about 90% of the material I had to grab from when I was looking for things outside of my own experiences playing video games and stuff. We could be that change. You know, chat, it's all here, it's all within you. We're all under the umbrella. Allies as well, of course. And I feel like this was sort of course my brain loved it. My brain loved riding around all that. So and I do it all again. And again, that's another reason why I really love collaborating with It Gets Better, because they let me do stuff like this. You know, they're so nice. They're just like, also, yes, that's a good point, Stream Elements. Exclamation mark TYDB. Thank you. Or click the link provided by Stream Elements. Look into that. You love a horrible woman to be also. Me too. Me too. I saw, I think it was Taunt that commented on Auntie Ethel. Me being an Auntie Ethel stan. I am an Auntie Ethel stan. In fact, in my first Baldur's Gate playthrough, which again, I'm not through Act 1 on either of my playthroughs, it was very much an experience where I was like, I'm just gonna leave Auntie Ethel alone. I feel like my character would totally approve of all of the nefarious things they're doing down here. And would just be like, look, love a woman in swamp vibe. And yeah, that questline is great though. And I've heard if you can let them continue on afterwards and they get like another leg of Auntie Ethel dosage in Act 3, which is really cool. But Auntie Ethel is horrid. You meet her gaslighting two people looking for the victim that she's swiped away from society. Greedy intent or not, it was a horrible thing for Auntie Ethel to do. And then getting in there, Auntie Ethel is just very like, she doesn't even try to hide the fact that she's evil. As soon as you walk into her abode, I guess because she feels like really safe. That's fair enough. What's another horrible but incredible video game lady? Ugh. The great thing about video games as well is that much like they give room and a space to tell queer stories. They also give room and a window to tell stories that, you know, you can't necessarily see through film. You can see a lot through film, but you know, when it comes to things like the a woman's perspective and a woman's exclusive experience, and you know, trans presenting experiences as well. You can do a lot more with video games, I feel, in terms of conveying that story. Like, there's a lot more to do with, like, I think, only semi-unrelated, but I feel like a great environmental storytelling tool, like, if you're interested in environmental storytelling, Elden Ring is a great time, for sure. Which is why it's important to spotlight these things, and not just through Women's History Month, but through all months of the year. Look, become an insufferable one trick about it if you need to. I think it's a great time. I also really like the fallen angel archetypes. I feel like, especially when it comes to those characters appearing in video games, I very much relate to the woman who's like sort of fallen out of grace. Like, she's not doing good things. She's doing some nefarious, terrible things under the guise of like a sort of like an upset redemption. I love stuff like that. I relate to stuff like that a lot. Subquests. There we go. The game is explicitly telling you subquests are a thing. Do subquests. You do actually need to do quite a number of side quests. Fortunately or unfortunately for yourself, they are a great way to gain resources to dominate stuff and access quite a lot of the more sinister, interesting, intriguing content of Nier Automata. And again, this is a great recommendation if you love action RPGs with really fluid combat and that are, you know, suitably led by a mainly woman-run cast. It's a great option. There is a lot of shocking stuff though. Not in terms of like what's the word? It's hard to find the words. There's a lot of existential crisis that comes with this game. So if you're not down with that, then probably stay far away from this game. Also, the moment we skipped before, both very confusing and a bit confrontational in terms of like imagery. So if you're a bit confronted by like stuff like that, maybe stay away. But again, you know, if you're, I would say, of age to make a choice to play this game, I would absolutely do it. There's a reason why it's so revered in video games so many years later. Yeah! Isn't, was it Halo Reach? No. What was the Halo game that focused around the sort of fallout of Cortana? And, as short-lived as it was, the story, I thought it did really cool things from a sort of point of view situation. Like, in the end, Master Chief is kind of unable to help in the end. I feel like those stories are important too. Especially if you look at it from a perspective of This is taking the power away from the player. I think a lot of people,
Looks like our surface route's been cut off.
sort of like
Maybe
with
we can get through from underground.
Last of Us 2, you are forced to do a lot of things, like a lot of undeniably terrible things to named characters through the perspective of Ellie Williams. That if you don't do them, you get a game over. You know, I think those are all super.
So 2B, those machines
Super
out in
great.
the desert look just like androids,
Like
right?
experiences, and you know, Ellie Williams is a
We
queer
androids
character.
were modeled after our human creators. So why would machines try to look like us?
But not only that, there's also Abby, who is sort of like the other side that you take control of, and Abby is just a brick house of a being, like can crush through walls probably in like any superhero scenario. I believe is cis hetero presenting woman.
Point trying to work out
You don't get to see
unsolvable
that in video games. Like sometimes things can just be really cool, and I think that's one of those things that we can definitely see more of, because you know, women like that do exist, and you know, queer characters like Ellie Williams do in fact exist. These are great experiences that we are so lucky to be able to have these days. Only through the medium of, you know, Vimeo games. That's so cool, right? Oh, I'm so sad. We're coming out to one of my favorite locations and we're not gonna see most of it. This is where the game gets really cool. Like visually. Like this is a lovely time. An abandoned theme park. And the music is superb. You feel like you enjoy queer stories told through games more than you do movies and TV these days? Yes. I agree. They're not written, yep, they're not written by, yep, that's your old points there. Yeah, I feel with games, there's a lot more conscious consultation.
What are those? What the?
Well, this is weird.
Let's be happy together. Together.
You can actually aggro these robots, but I quite enjoy how non-aggressive they are. Oh, low-key, kind of want to go through this entire game. Uh-oh. Let's find a nice little save point, and then we'll watch our little It Gets Better Women's History Month celebration presentation one more time. And we'll wrap it up, shall we? I think that'll, a nice little pat on the shoulder for everyone today.
This gate isn't going to open. Maybe there's another way around.
Just having a good time. They are fun to fight, though, I'm not gonna lie. They are pretty fun to fight. You have to admit. You have to.
Where does this corridor lead?
Dun, 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 dun.
We're getting resistance signals from that building over there.
And yeah, once again, because this game has been so lifted up, you can probably find it on any sale, be it for, you know, PlayStation or Steam or Xbox. Like, I think it's even on Switch.
Let's look around for
It's pretty readily available. So yeah, again, if you are curious in playing it, 2B, 9S, and A2 are fantastic main characters in a story that's pretty different. Pretty different and a lot of fun. And again, they do a lot with the little budget that was given to this game. And I can't wait to see what they do with the next title in the series. Hello, save point. Please. Pretty please. Maybe we can do like a quick save moment. No. No. Alright, that is... Oh, there it is. Wait, there's like a save point around here. It's okay, let's backtrack. Let's backtrack. Do a little bit of a save moment, and then we'll watch the presentation one more time. I don't mind going over. Again, I've had superb amounts of fun hanging with you guys today, and being able to showcase my fun brain side that can't really put words together without a script situation. Oh, there it is. Hello. Listening to your commentary. I'm happy to have you here. You can find me over on Lurch. I'm the only Lurch on Twitch. That's Yummy Noises Lurch. And again, I'll be live at the moment scheduled on not next month, but the month after, where we're going to be probably touching on why the queer community loves anime. I think that would be fun. Did I just self-promo? Yes. Why? Because I'm allowed to. Anyway, let's watch this presentation one more time. For those not in the know, it is a presentation I put together for Women's History Month, celebrating female protagonists and their games. It's a bit of a historical deep dive and just touches on like parts of it that really interest, you know, my brain and, you know, my history with gaming, which is quite prominent. And, you know, I do all the cardinal sins. I throw in Like a Dragon. Can't stop doing that. I talk about Silent Hill 3 for hours. So many hours. And also I put my face in it. So enjoy. And then we'll do a little bit of a farewell afterwards, alright? Ta-da. 3, 2, 1. 2, 1, 2, 1. Video games have a very interesting and varied history when it comes to representing and telling their stories to what is today a constant practice of presenting believable character arcs in worlds not unbelievable, but often exaggerated to enhance those feelings, showcase the absurd, or are inspirations based on the years of yesterday or grander tomorrows. But first, a trivia question. How do we, the hero, down on our luck, achieve infinite wealth against all odds and incredibly hostile enemy factions? I'll give you some time. Well, if your answer was, we ride a dolphin to a rundown island resort, clear trash, procure materials over each day, upgrade our tools, craft structures and decorations to accommodate our would-be guests, and then extract funds by being great island resort hosts over their 3-day stay, then you'd be right. Much like Ichiban playing the leading man to an eclectic and complex cast, enduring a plot that rivals most soap operas in daily twists and turns, this, as of today, is the same for gaming's women. Since the early days, women have been front, center, and playable in video games, and in a variety of roles, be it the hunter, the fatale, the guardian, the all-star, the heiress, the strongest, the commander, a regular archaeologist, or a hobby photographer. Super regular. Super hobby. Super princess. Let's take time this Women's History Month to celebrate these women, their games, and some of the things that make them so gosh darn fantastic. The year is 1981. The Pac-Man merch is merching. A world phenomenon in terms of cultural impact. But also, the Pac-Man bootlegs were bootsing into any house of arcade or home that would take them. The total lawsuits, ongoing and on rotation, were wild even for its time. Miss Pac-Man would come to live through what began as a Pac-Man bootleg, Crazy Otto, which, for the sake of copyright law purposes, was definitely not Pac-Man with legs. An absolutely original character. Do not copy. Anyway, skipping some legal jargon, that would all evolve into the concept of Super Pac-Man. Its attention to short cutscenes, where essentially boy meets girl, would lead to Mr. and Mrs. Pac-Man, and for the sake of name flow, would turn into 1982's Miss Pac-Man, where she'd take on the role of title protagonist. It was essentially an enhanced edition of Pac-Man featuring more maps, changes in ghost behaviors, and also a fully realized retelling of one of video games' first visual love stories.
Don't you know I'm more than Pac-Man with a bow?
The success of Miss Pac-Man outdid the original in terms of arcade box profit due to audience reach, and so followed the merch. Brand deals that all really helped flesh out the Pac-Man dynasty as we know it today. And, you know, didn't know, but it was a thing.
Pac-Man pasta?
Additionally, the design differences in giving Pac-Man's iconic yellow disc a drastically feminine makeover would also pioneer the controversial habit of often unnecessary and gendering aspects still seen in gaming today. But what about the aspect of a fun little surprise? A sweet little treat at the end of the day, if you will. The public's Goopy Goblin gamer brains would collectively gag upon completing 1986's Metroid to discover that they've been playing what is often declared the first playable human-female character in mainstream gaming. I also consider her the first mother, taking a Metroid hatchling under her wing, which eventually led to Super Metroid, considered one of gaming's all-time greatest, and the mother half to the subgenre we coin as the humble Metroidvania. I also love it because my Tahua grandma gave me Super Metroid and a Super Nintendo, a combination that would keep me entrenched in gaming forever. The next notable major milestone in gaming's female protagonists takes us to the early days of popular mainstream interactive 3D. Tomb Raider's Lara Croft had a handful of controversies due to the nature of her gender and pivotal role in commercialized male fantasy, contesting her trailblazing and empowerment. But looking at the positives, it's undeniable that Lara Croft opened the door to more female video game characters, female action protagonists on the big screen, and Angelina Jolie participating in target practice on horseback, which is unintentionally one of the most sapphic-coded things in the ever. Who run the world? Girls in horror games. Who run the world? Girls unless the stamina runs out. Continuing this call to action, Jill Valentine would be a playable character selectable alongside Chris Redfield in 1996's Resident Evil, notable for her independence, skill set reflecting military background, and iconic interactions where you either love them or they're bad and you love them anyway.
Bitch can't even swim.
The at-the-time Resident Evil's survival horror counterpart, Konami's Silent Hill series, would introduce the world to Silent Hill 3, with Heather Mason's starring role being their most notable departure from the previous two main series titles. It also introduces Silent Hill's first relatable protagonist. Of course, it considers the series staples up to this point, like the main character being just a regular person against the unspeakable, struggling to wield a weapon with any real proficiency. But her character really shines through, especially when we put mirroring events from the first Silent Hill back to back.
I've been expecting you. It was foretold by gyromancy.
What are you talking about?
I am Claudia.
So what? Forget it. This is way too gross. Who would even think of doing something so disgusting?
Heather isn't wandering around with question marks. She's no nonsense, charismatically so, and after a key event is quite cynical of the entire process. It also touches on a lot of real-life horror that comes with being a woman. The fear isn't necessarily about the monsters or the otherworldly walls. It's the being stalked, the immediate danger of a quiet alleyway, being manipulated by creeps, being denied bodily autonomy, society's pressures on appearance just from looking at your reflection in the mirror. It's a horrifying reality. Another horrifying reality is when this more powerless style of survival horror and its variants began dying off until 2010's Amnesia would revive it. With the popularity of survival horror in the third-person shooter style being at its peak, Capcom's Haunting Ground would go mostly unnoticed, having a cult following years later. Through the eyes of Fiona, we experience a lot of society's all-too predatory misogyny at full blast, and it's the only game to really do so unapologetically, even today. Fiona's story hits home with a lot of women in modern society, and due to its traumatic nature, can be ill-perceived based on whether or not you can relate to these uniquely specific experiences. Fiona overcoming her various adversaries, and the only truly negative ending being linked to her mistreating her cuddly companion, really puts an emphasis on the true intent behind Haunting Ground's messaging, and why it needs to be celebrated. And re-released. Capcom. I could go on about how amazing Heather and Fiona are for literally hours. But this isn't that video. But this is more broad and kinda up to a public and personal opinion kind of thing. Bayonetta immediately jumps to mind. There's something so incredibly about a woman who's endured, overcome, and is thriving in a male-dominated society. Very Liza Minnelli, and even in video game terms, her base design is queer-coded, which usually dictates them as less than a hero, a villain even. The sapphic aspects inherent in mainstream witchcraft, camp elements you'd see in drag entertainers ever present through Bayonetta's often unserious dialogue, and consistently absurd physicality shining through equally absurd circumstances. Bayonetta flips its head on male gaze to yes, diva, work. Our next icon actually starts with you. Titus, protagonist of Final Fantasy X, quite quickly becomes our point of view for the actual main character of Final Fantasy X, Yuna. This isn't the first Final Fantasy to have iconic and notable women, or even have a story focused on their journey, nor would it be the last. But Yuna is the first to live on in our hearts on a level that demanded Final Fantasy's first sequel title, Final Fantasy X-2, starring none other than ex-Summoner Yuna. Everything about X-2 was iconic, right down to the magical girl mechanics at the forefront of its battle system. The woman-dominated main cast, their dynamic and their journeys are inspired by the likes of Charlie's Angels and Tomb Raider. X-2 also had a flip-side atmosphere of finding melancholy in carefree moments rather than X's heavily melancholic procession. A lot of these changes cemented Final Fantasy X-2 as immediately timeless, with this particular Final Fantasy being a staple favorite among the queer community.
Sing to me, Paolo.
This is what dreams are made of! Vice
Of course, you have other icons like Ada Wong and your actual canon queer characters like Ellie Williams, and controversially remixed to head characters such as trans icon Vivian. There's a lot more. Take my word. I'm sure there are like insufferable anti-Ethel stands out there.
Char won't bother us here. She's far too busy writing poetry and crying about how much people prefer her sister.
Let's make some room to celebrate the creator characters.
Everything about Grunt is a lie.
This one is the hero of the Citadel. I'll handle it.
This one insists.
This one doesn't care. The second I get out of here, I'm gonna take your head and mount it in the Normandy CIC.
Shepard is a great example of something based in custom character, carried by the flexible voice of Jennifer Hale.
This is from my cabin. She's moving stuff out of my cabin. Oh, now it's personal.
Female Shepard, or FemShep, is generally the more positively remembered of the two, getting a default option by Mass Effect 3. It's also a lot of gamers' first showcase of an in-game queer romance, with her able to undertake a relationship with Liara T'Soni in Mass Effect 1. Other notable mentions are Samantha Trainer and my personal favorite character in the entire trilogy, Samara, both in Mass Effect 3. Then there's one of my current personal favorite character creators in Rogue Trader, where your feminine Rogue Trader can take on the most enormous sky-piercing platinum blonde hair in the entire universe, and still read to 40k's world as cold to the right people, calculating, cunning, full of authority, and stronger than everyone else. With Tav's voice and body type dictating a more flexible gender experience with more self-insert potential, their race, class, and background playing the dominant factor of how they experience events in Baldur's Gate 3, this is great direction, and is documented to be a lot of people's favorite creator character story and a pastime of all time when it comes to gaming. But 99% of female creator characters in story-driven games don't give women the choice the Saints Row series has managed to provide over gaming's entire history. Name another game that lets you play as a cool female protagonist with this body type. Or even gives you the option. If there's one or more in a game, she's usually unplayable. And if she's playable, then she's probably treated as a bit of a joke, or non-existent. The Herbs, as perfect of a game as it is, has this as their curvy plus-size option. Saints Row is supreme forever. Happy Women's History Month. This has been something I've wanted to gush about for forever. Women tend to be my favorite characters in TV shows, whether they're good, bad, a nice bit of both. And when it comes to things like comics, my favorite characters aren't the dudes, at least since I've been aware of them. In fact, probably most things in media. And this won't be changing until there's a better fight than the one at the end of Penny Dreadful Season 2. That pits Vanessa Ives against spoilers. That is not adult. This is the same for video games. I'm so keen to see what comes next. What are your thoughts? Guess you have to finish Penny Dreadful. I highly recommend the first 2 seasons. If you can stomach the entire show being ruined, watch season 3. I would say, as terrible as season 3 of Penny Dreadful is, it does have Patti LuPone in like every episode. And also probably the best single episode of Penny Dreadful. But it really, it does away with the entire show's foundation in the worst possible way. I was so angry when I finished season 3 of Penny Dreadful. I'm like, I regret all of this. But you know, you watch those first 2 seasons, you're gonna have a great time. You're gonna have a really great time. And also you get to see Patti LuPone in season 2 as well. So, you know, not all hope is lost. And don't remember most of this. Do you mean in Mass Effect? That would be because that most of the footage is from the Citadel DLC. So there's a lot to that DLC. I wouldn't be surprised. It's at the very end of a game that is quite divisive anyway. But I guess, you know, the fandom has co-opted the Citadel DLC as the true ending of the game. So yeah, again, I hope you guys enjoyed that little Women's History Month moment. I'll be back again to talk about why the queer community loves anime. We're probably going to be playing Grand Blue Relink, or maybe we'll do more Nier Automata. I don't know. So many options. We'll figure it all out. Again, you can find me on Lurch. Spelling's right there, I think. Oh, is that the right end? No. Yes. Great. Yeah. I'd also told that is so fair. Not everyone has played the Mass Effect trilogy as much as I have. I've beaten Mass Effect 2 about 11 times in my lifetime. So sometimes people just like things too much. And again, make sure you're following It Gets Better to keep up with all of the upcoming content. There's some amazing ambassadors on here, including my good Judy, Ian Watson. And, you know, in the past, you know, there's Blizz, Deer's worked with It Gets Better. Ashley Roboto, legend, absolute incredible legend. They're an entire wonderful team. All the little things they dip their hands into are fantastic. Let's put this up one more time. I encourage you to look into that Stream Elements link there. I'm very much all about urgent ongoing causes right now in terms of charity work, causes that you can probably do something really relevant for and really current for. I would say that is one of them. That is one of those causes for sure. Yeah, have a wonderful rest of the weekend. Have a wonderful rest of March. Pisces month. Be nice to Pisces. If you have Pisces friends, be fantastic to them. If you, if you're running around on Twitch. You know, maybe drop 7,000 gift subs to your Pisces friend. Who knows? Who knows? Tiffany Chanel, you as well. Take it easy. I hope to see you around, be it more on It Gets Better or, you know, whatever things I'm dipping my toes into. And yeah, take it easy. Stay safe, guys. Stay very safe. Stay safe out there. Remember, queer safe spaces are your places. I made that rhyme up just now. So profound, but also so relevant. And yeah. Ta-ta.